Test. So weird to hear myself. All right. Let's look at everything. Pump my volume up. Can everybody hear me? Blah, 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 blah. Live. All right. I just got ink on my finger. Okay, so any flex pen that you have is going to be an ink bomb. Doesn't matter. So I wish I could flip the camera around. I really can't. So I'll do my best here. Okay. Let's just this is a I'm not sure if this will autofocus or autofocus maybe. Let's see here. Whatever. No, this isn't really gonna focus. But anyway, this nib is modified. I'm not sure if you can tell just by looking at it. But this is a Conrad. You can see it's got a little ink window here. And it flexes. Let's get the ink flowing. I just inked this guy up, so he's baby new. See, he's railroading quite a bit there. Could be the ink, could be the paper. I have a way to test the paper, though. Here's an envelope. So that one's railroading a lot later. Also depends on the angle that you use. See if I can get this any closer. Maybe I should increase the There we go. Hey, said autofocus. There we go. That's a little better. Anyway, this paper over here is a coated paper, so it's going to break surface tension a lot faster. So I'm not sure if you're really getting the full thing here, but you know, this it's a flex pen, and it flexes, goes from really thin to pretty friggin' thick, with lots of railroading tonight, apparently. See? I don't know. Do you even care? I don't see you responding. I've also got other pens, so if you want to see, like, I mean, flex pens are just toys. They're fun to play with. Man, I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a bubble. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And it should say full flex, but come on. Why does the autofocus keep turning off? I don't get it. Yeah, seriously. But you can see, like, this does a pretty admirable job. And it's not like burping. In fact, I have to flick this really hard for any extra ink to even come out. It's not going to. So let's see. So this is all like backwards and shit, isn't it? See if I can do anything. I can't do anything about this. I can't adjust anything. Oh, no. I don't want that. Come on here. Got this on autofocus. Come on. Nah. Nah. No? See-through head just doesn't care? Seriously? I set up this whole video thing just to show you some pen shit. You're not even responding. What a jackass. Oops. I got epoxy all over my notebook. That's lame. Let's see. Platypus is cool. That's what I just wrote. Because platypus is cool. Gotta admit, this is kind of lame. Does upside down writing. That's fun. This is silly. I can't even like. Let's move this guy around so I can show people what I wrote. Ugh. Okay. Zoom out. There we go. Flex, 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 flex. Did Run DMC, and you are an ass. Doesn't matter. You guys don't care. Well, guys, because the person who wanted me to do this is being non-responsive, there's no reason for me to keep streaming. Huh? People using YouTube. Oh my gosh, that's weird. Yeah, uh, yeah, I have italics I can show off. In fact, let's just make sure this is dry. Okay, I've got lots of italics. Oh yeah, if you want to see the 823, just so here's the 823 that I've had customized. Okay, 823 is really funny though. You have to unscrew this Okay, this back end, so there's this gap. And then you tilt the pen back like this, okay? And then tilt the pen forward. And then you unscrew the cap, shake the pen down just a little bit. No, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of italics. I have one of every kind of nib. And see, there we go. Just nice. I don't know how it's going to show up well, but anyway, that's an italic nib. It's a broad italic, so I mean, this is like a millimeter wide. Oddly enough, my 0.7 millimeter that I modded is wider than this, but that's because pilots, they have really tiny nibs. I'm not sure if it'll autofocus does not work in bright light. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, this is a small nib, all things considered. I mean, it's a nice weighty pen, but it's compared to other pens, it's kind of a small nib. And so like when you're gonna put it away, you rock it back, put the cap on, and you close the pen. Woo. Woo woo. Now, just to give you a comparison of nibs, this is a Sailor Riello. Somebody's gonna spam me with shit. Who's spamming this stuff? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I was getting spammed. So this is a Sailor Riello. All right. This has a friggin' nib on it. Now that is a nib. Now this thing writes pretty fantastically. So you got like a fine line, and let's come on, autofocus down here. Yeah, so you've got a fine line down here. You can see it's different from the italic. And then if I take the pen and I flip it over, you know, it's a, and then if I like change my angle, I'll help. I'll help. Okay, so let me just tear off this page. There's the pilot. There's my Sailor on fine. There it's at its most broad, and there's some in between manner of strokes. All of those say, well, hello world, hello world, hello world, and test, test. And then, let's see. Here's a TWSBI VAC 700. And this has a cursive italic nib as well. I'll do another hello world. A close-up of the writing. I don't think that's going to do too much, but I'll give it a shot. Okay. All right. Oh, that should help. Oh, no, I had it. There we go. There's the test test. There's the other cursive italic. Gold nib, steel nib. Gold nib, steel nib. This is a gold nib, but this is a really good gold nib. And so, all things considered, TWSBI, $70, $80 if you count the nib. This guy, the 283, that's like anywhere between $200 and $300. And then you have this Sailor Riello with its crazy nib. That's $1,000. So I mean, it's the Sailor. Let me just write it out for you. I think it's a special kind of cross Concord Emperor nib, though. Anyway, they're expensive as all get out. I mean, if you want to see a really pretty pen, let's get this guy in here. There we go. This guy is pretty. Probably can't see the. It's really hard to catch the materials that are just weaving through this. Wait, no, there we go. You can kind of see him. He glitters. This guy's another vacuum filler. He writes really well. But I modified the crap out of this one, so. And this is a honker nib too. This is a big one. Let's turn the light back up here. There we go. Yeah, that's a big nib. Let's just compare it size-wise to the. Here's the Pilot. I mean, they're very similar in size, but I'm holding the Pilot kind of closer to the camera. Pilot's Pilot's longer, but the Visconti's wider. And it's palladium. I think this is actually the largest Pilot nib on the market. So yeah, let's see if this one's willing to write for me today. I haven't written with it in like 4 days or so. Yeah, it really doesn't like me right now. I need to clean this one out. It's not happy with me. It's like, why don't you treat me nice? There we go. That thing's not going to write really perfect until I clean it. It's another thing about fountain pens is that they require a little bit of maintenance if you leave them inked anyway. And some fountain pens more than others. Like this guy right here. This is the Lamy 2000. I've only ever inked this guy twice. I've only ever flushed him once, and he just hit. I uncap him, and he writes. Like no problem. Anytime I want. And let's just. I can show you the broken lines that the Visconti's writing right now. So this is all the Visconti. It's just not writing all that well because it's got gunk built up and dried out. And then here's the Lamy. There's no problem. He like never dries out. It's awesome. Let's see if this pen has anything in it. Or if it's just dying of neglect. It's probably dying of neglect. Yes, it is dying of neglect. Oh no. I'm gonna have to leave this one soak for like a couple days. Oh, it's so grimy. Oops. It's all right. This wasn't originally my pen. But this one has a very interesting nib. There we go. If you can see, that has 3 tines. It's a music nib. But also, it flexes. It actually flexes quite a bit. So it is a flex music nib. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I've got other pens somewhere. Oh well. I've got some Anotos, those vintage pens, but they're all like packed up and not inked right now. So let's do some more flex writing. Just to give you another. Yeah, but I have a Nepen set. A Nepen set is not the pen that I just showed you. This is a Nepen set. Its music nib is gigantic and kind of, see? And you press and it doesn't open nearly as wide as that other pen did. It actually doesn't flex too terribly wide at all. It's just a big ass black pen. Yeah. I'm going to show you the flex writing close up because it looks pretty good. Let's focus in here. Come on. There we go. There's that flex writing. No. I'd have to say, in order, like my favorite pens, just in terms of writing. Okay, you got the Relo, the Sailor pen. That's this guy. He's pretty. But then I'd have to say my VAC 700. And my Viscani. Then the Lamy 2000. Then the 823. And those are my modern pens. Well, you're not going to get very thick or good lines with the AHAB that you have until you do something with it. Hold on. I feel like a glutton for punishment, so I'm going to ink up my AHAB that I modded. Let's just get out some. So this is my AHAB. It's stained permanently from all the different kinds of inks that I've put in it. I'm just going to eyedropper this. Okay. So what this means is I'm going to fill up top of this ink bottle thing here. And just drip ink directly into it. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I got a full Ahab. Just gonna let the ink kind of get out. There we go. So I made this nib really nice. Where's my cap? I'm surprised I haven't knocked over this little vial of water. I put that cap somewhere. That's weird. It's a clear cap, so it's going to evade me for hours. All right. So, no. Forgot I only need to pick up the paper. All right. So you can see there's the flex of my Conrad right there. And then there's the Ahab that I modded. I think I smudged it. I did smudge it a little bit. I touched it. And this Ahab is a thing of legend and power and magic and stuff. There we go. This is... Oh yeah, and it's super smooth to write with too. You can just go to town. Oop. You can just go to town. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, the only thing that's doing the writing here is this nib. That's it. That is all that is doing the writing. Ah, here's where I put my cap. So like ink really matters too when you're working with flex pens. Like this ink that I'm using is in this pen is not great for flexing. Because I can show you how wide the line wants to go with the pen, but you'll see how well the ink works with how well the line wants to go. So thin to thick. Whereas with the Ahab, that's using a different, more flex friendly ink. Yeah, discuss beautiful custom pen away. I mean, this is the difference that ink makes. What do you want to discuss, man? All right, I can finally see YouTube chat. To all the people still watching on YouTube. I like my Lamy. I've got a Lamy Vista right here. Lamy Vista just works. It's the same pen as an All Star. It's just a clear body. Cost on one of what? There are certain inks that have a higher surface tension than others. That's all. Like some inks are more watery, others are more like have more surfactant qualities, and they don't break surface tension easily. Yeah. I haven't. Oh, an Ahab costs $20, but the Ahab that I have, I've put like almost 10 hours of work into to make it write the way that I want it to write. It doesn't always write that way, especially out of the box. I mean, there are very few pens that I bought and I expected to work exactly the way I wanted them to. One of them was my Viscani. The Viscani didn't work at all when I got it, so I was really pissed. Another one was the Riello, but the Riello worked perfectly, so I was really happy with this one. This was a Christmas present to myself, so. Only other pens that I've had come to me and work perfectly, the VAX 700 and some vintage pens. No, I didn't get your request for the thanks for your input. I can. I'll try and write that now. Let's see. Let's get a. Does this pen have anything in it? No. This is another Conrad. I mean, Krav. He has a Conrad that I made for him. I like the Conrad. It's a good body shape, and They're just reliable pens, and they're easy to mod. And thank you for the input. It's all backwards, which is stupid. I think. I don't know. How do you guys even see this right? Does it show up in any way? I guess it does. I don't know. Let me think about this. Hey, yeah, it does show up straight for you guys. For me, it's backwards, which is weird. It's really weird. Just more funny stuff. Funny video things on the internet. Uh, here we go. My Visconti's starting to write properly again. It's not 100%, but it's starting to wet up because I opened the pen. So with that guy, you can see the line is getting thinner and thicker in places, and that's because of just how springy the nib is. It's it's actually like a super fine nib, but if I put any weight on it, just even the weight of its own body, it flexes ever so slightly. And I've got to be really careful with it and how much strength I put into it. Otherwise, the nib will spring and I'll never be able to use it again. When it starts writing, this is like it's absolute heaven in my hand. I'm so enthralled by it, but to get it that way was very painful. The pen did not want to write when I got it, and that's very disappointing because of how much this pen retails for. Again, I've left this thing sitting for too long, so it's not going to be happy with me. Does anybody want to see any other different kinds of pens, or a pen that you've seen already but you want to know more about? Well, See Through had saying that his Ahab makes him mad at just railroads all day and he can't get the ink to flow. That's a two-part issue. You have the issue of the pen's flow, which you can fix, and then you have the issue of the ink that you're using. If your ink sucks for flex pens, it's not going to do well ever. I need to smooth out this nib. Something wicked. This is terrible. Oh my god. Oh, that feels terrible. Where's my friggin' smoothing paper? It's got to be somewhere around here. Where you at, dog? This is torture. There's some pens that I haven't worked on in so long, and I've gotten much better. Ugh. Guess it'll just have to remain a mystery. Where this pen will have to remain in Suckville. This blows. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to fix this. You stay. Okay. All right, let's test this thing out. Oh yeah, there you go. There we go. And this is just taking a lot of practice. But like, I don't feel it scratch anymore. It's really smooth. That took me like no time at all. I don't know. I think that's more just being a little bit more intuitive about if I'm feeling like if I'm rubbing. If you look right here, I have ink on my finger. I rub the nib against my finger and I feel for any kind of scratches or abrasion. And if I feel something, I adjust the nib accordingly. So, all right. So it looks like my buddy See Through Head is done with the video thing. So I'm gonna end this now. Thanks anybody who hopped in. I love you all. Good night.